Hi, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeremy. I'm here at Sparka Youth.
So this week we're going to be continuing our series based off of Joel Holmes' Follow 52 book. But first, let's get into last week's challenge. Last week's action was that each time you start to worry, replace your worry with worship. So Jeremy, what did you do for your challenge?
So for my challenge, what happened was I had a very big math test coming up. So then what happened was I decided that instead of worrying, I would worship God by praying and singing gospel songs, and also just like thinking of Him overall and being thankful for what He has done.
For me, I started getting a little bit sick last week, and there were like 2 days where I especially felt like pain in my throat, and I was afraid that I would get sick and have to miss out on school. So instead of worrying about that, I just worshiped God for being a healer, and I prayed that He could cure my sickness before it even comes to me, and I felt the symptoms go away. So could you talk to us about this week's lesson?
This week's lesson's main verse is Matthew 4:19. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will send you out to fish for people. So, do you really trust Jesus? Trust comes before evidence. Before you see the change that you need in your life, you must believe that Jesus will bring you that change. Trust also even remains after the evidence because trust is relational. Faith is not a magical code because faith is what you need in order to trust Jesus. And faith is how you relate to Jesus. Therefore, you can trust Him and He can trust you.
So Jesus requires that your relationship with Him be based off of trust. He directs you to trust Him and not merely just believe on evidence of the activity. So He wants you to continue to believe in more of Jesus in your life so that you can never settle for what He already has given you, but always seek for more and trust that He will provide it for you.
Faith in Christ means a life of submission. You should trust God and let Him do His work and His activities and His plan for you. And more than anything, you should trust His character. You should believe that you have received everything just because of God, and that you'll receive even more if you ask Jesus.
So we also have a few additional verses for study that go with our topic. The first one comes from Romans 1:17. For in the gospel, the righteousness of God is revealed, a righteousness that is by faith from first to last, just as it is written, the righteous will live by faith.
Our next additional verse is Romans 10:9-10. You declare with your mouth, Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead. You will be saved, for it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. Next
is Ephesians 3:16-19. That out of His glorious riches He may strengthen you with power through His Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, and I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power, together with all the Lord's holy people, to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God.
Our last additional verse is Matthew 17:20. He replied, because you have so little faith, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you.
So of course we also have a challenge that goes with our topic for this week. Let's take a look at the challenge.
This challenge is to act on what you are trusting Jesus for, believing you have received it.
So this challenge basically means that you should act off of faith. So for example, if you have a financial issue, then you should act based off thinking that Jesus will provide for you, and you should be more generous instead of trying to be stingy. So that's all that we have for this week. We hope that you can send us how you complete your challenge on Instagram @Sparka Youth, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.